Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to the latest edition of the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Nate Maxson, your host, here with you, and I'm joined, of course, this week by my brother Aaron.
Hello, everybody.
And Mr. Mark Brew.
Hello.
And this week we are doing something a little bit out of our norm here at the We Can't Wrestle podcast. We talk about a lot of 80s, 90s wrestling here on the show. This week we thought we'd stop being old farts and watch something a little more modern, at least. Still 5 years old. It's crazy to think it's 5 years old already, but it is MLW Battle Riot, the first one from 2018. And this event took place July 19th, 2018. It aired July 27th as a special episode of MLW Fusion. And it was recorded in New York City at the Melrose Ballroom. And I have to say, and I talked to Mark about this behind the scenes, at this time, probably from, I'd say, late 2017 until the pandemic hit, I actually did watch MLW pretty regularly. So I had seen this event before. It's where I became initially a fan of Shane Strickland and MJF and a few of the other guys that are on this show. So, and we'll get to it. We'll get to it when we get to them. But that is what we are discussing this week, MLW Battle Riot. And actually watching the show made me want to go and, maybe pick up where I left off with MLW and start watching it again. But
right.
I thought that for a not major promotion, it was a good promotion. Or I mean, guess it still is. It's still in existence, but
Nate's older than me, and I still feel like I'm gonna be like the yelling at the clouds guy. It's probably gonna be me, right?
Probably.
and I'm gonna preface this by saying that anything that I say negative on it isn't about the talent, okay?
Except one.
Oh, I'll delve well into one, but it's and like I said, I'm not gonna. I hate people that. This is actually we can talk about modern type situations on this show this week, right?
Yeah.
Like where we go, oh, I'm not going to delve into the weeds on the modern stuff. I can say this now. I'm a guy that doesn't totally like the modern product. And like when you guys start talking about it, I kind of bow out because I'm not that guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, I know this is an AEW, but like, I don't watch AEW. And you know why I don't watch AEW?
Because you don't like it?
Because I don't like it.
Yeah.
And why would I sit and watch something that I don't like just be mad at it and then bitch about it?
Yeah, that's why I don't get the hate. I don't get the hate watchers. I don't get the people that watch modern stuff just to shit on it. Like, don't you have anything else to do with your life?
Yeah,
watch a TV show you don't like? Like me, like I've said before, I know I've said it before, I watch Raw, I watch SmackDown, I watch Dynamite, and I watch the pay-per-views, but I never watch anything live anymore. That way, I can fast forward through what I don't want to waste my time watching.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to, like I said, I'm not shitting on the talent because they do something I can't do, but like, I'm not a huge, like, ladies wrestling fan. Are you allowed to call them ladies wrestlers? I don't know. But I enjoy Bayley because I think Bayley's a tremendous heel. I think she's great. I like watching Rhea Ripley. I think she's great. I like watching Asuka because I think Asuka's a tremendous bell-to-bell wrestler. But I don't want to watch Liv Morgan. So guess what I do when Liv Morgan comes on? Fast forward her. So I don't want to watch her. You know what I mean? It's not that I hate her.
The women's
revolution. It's just not what I want to watch. But I'm not gonna sit there and be like, "Buh, I hate this. now I'm gonna get on my fucking typewriter and type about it with my neck beard and talk about how much I hate everything, while the fucking Popeye's chicken grease rolls down my neck beard.
Fast forward.
It's like, yeah, just fast forward this shit. And I might have got lost a little bit, but what I'm just saying is if you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. Just shut the fuck up and let people that do like it enjoy it.
Yep, that's what
And
I always say.
Don't be a goddamn troll. Hate trolls.
I guess I'm just not. I guess I just don't understand that it's not my personality, so I don't understand that personality type. I don't understand people that hate watch things, and I am. Aaron knows the other thing that is my huge fandom is Star Wars, and the Star Wars fan community is the same way.
They have the same neck beard.
Every time a movie comes out, they're like they shit on it. It's like, why do you keep going if you don't like it? What the fuck is wrong with you?
One of my favorite things that I ever discovered, and this isn't even about him,
Exactly.
was the drive-through. I loved the drive-through. Right? Jim Cornette's drive-through, fucking loved it because it was him answering questions about old or whatever. Like, it was Cornette answering questions from like his time taking pictures to like 97. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's the shit I wanted to listen to. And his show was like an hour and 45 minutes at the most until AEW showed up. And now his show is like 7.5 hours long, and it's him bitching about all of AEW or whatever he doesn't like. And I haven't listened to it in like 2 years. Now I just get on YouTube and say and type in Jim Cornette about and like listen to him about why Barbarian didn't have a bigger career. Right. You know, now I just listen to his show in snippets because I don't want to listen to somebody just shit when they don't like. Yeah. Like, why did you watch it? And Mark, I know you said, "Oh, we're gonna watch something that's good now." Like those 4 shows I picked, I didn't pick them because I didn't hate them. I picked them because I enjoyed the wrestling of it, but like the stories or the campiness of it. You know what I mean? It's not like the shit I watched I didn't like. It was the shit that I watched was still good because it was solid wrestling, but there was funny stuff in it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I understand. And I didn't pick this just because I like it. It was all right. So we're gonna get there anyways and talk about the Battle Riot later on, but like that's a different type of match type. You don't see that type of stuff going on all the time. And I figure it'd be nice to talk about something that we haven't talked about.
No, I get it. And I enjoyed watching it because it was something I hadn't seen before. And like how do I say it? Like I don't hate Brutus Beefcake. You know what I mean? But it's fun making fun of Brutus Beefcake because he was good at his job. But I didn't enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, and it's like I always say, whenever I make one of my posts, because you guys I know see my lengthy posts that I post when I've had like 8 beers in me, and I want to shit on the trolls on the internet. It's like I always say in my posts, I always put a sentence in there saying there is nothing wrong with critiquing, even if it's something you like. My problem isn't like what we do, where we just are going to critique the things that are silly in said show. My problem is these people, like I said, that are literally on Monday nights, they are sitting down in front of their TV for 3 goddamn hours just to watch something they don't like so they can go on the internet and get 2 of their buddies to like their post. It's pathetic. It's pathetic.
Yeah, and they'll be like 3 minutes in, there was a botch. 15 minutes later, there was
Yeah.
another botch.
Get over
Shit's
yourself.
annoying, really.
Jesus. It is. It's super annoying.
It's like and that bugs me too when somebody's like, "Oh, that wrestler botched." It's like you botched walking to the goddamn cabinet to get a fucking flaming
Refrigerator.
hot Frito bag, you fat fuck. It's like, how do I say it? Like, I don't enjoy watching Brutus Beefcake. I know I brought him up twice. Twice I brought him up. Do I enjoy watching a Brutus Beefcake match? No. But would I ever go to a show and Ed Leslie was working and I would start chanting, "You can't wrestle"? No. Because guess what? He can. Because he learned how to do it. I can't do that.
That's why we are the We Can't Wrestle
podcast. That's why I came up with the title of the show. He can do something that I can't do. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, here we go. Battle Riot 2018. Great commentating team here. Tony Schiavone and Matt Striker. I'm a big Tony Schiavone fan, and I am also a big Matt Striker fan. Matt Striker does not get enough credit for how good of a color commentator he is.
Matt Striker got actually
one of my notes.
Matt Striker actually got some of the best credit that he got because Michael Cole pushed him out. Everything I've read, Striker and Taz and a couple other guys did not treat him the best or put him over enough in the WWE because they thought he might have been like, a guy that could take their spot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, he definitely does a good job. And what did you say, Mark? You said you had the same note?
Yeah, that Matt Striker is completely underrated as a commentator.
And he has some good lines in this show that I wrote down, but we'll get to those. They do what you should do at the beginning of this show. They present Tony Schiavone presenting the rules of a battle riot, what this match entails. Especially since at this time this was the first one, so you get established with the fans what they're going to expect, and then we get a match. The opening match is between Cotto Brazil and Myron Reed, and I remember at this time thinking these two guys were going somewhere. I don't think they have because I have no idea where either one of them is now. But I thought this was a good match.
I think Myron Reed actually holds the belt for them right now. I think Myron Reed actually holds the belt for them right now.
That's highly possible. Like I said, I haven't watched the program in a few years, so you're probably right.
I didn't think. You guys can talk about it. Like I said, I don't want to shit on something that other people like, but I just didn't like this match.
I did. I thought that they took their, what do I want to say? They took their size, their lack of size, and used it to their advantage in this match. And I thought the two guys meshed really well. It almost seems like maybe they came up together because they really had a good chemistry in the ring.
The one dude, was so little his nipples touched.
I do got something that's probably going to pop Aaron though. Cotto Brazil, he looks like Eddie Griffin with braided hair.
And Eddie Griffin ain't that entertaining either.
No, but overall, I thought it was a great fast-paced match, and both guys are incredible high flyers, and it was. I was.
Yeah, my only negative note on the match was I think they gave them a little too much time. It was a little too long.
Right.
But other than that, I liked it. Cotto won with a pretty innovative version of the cutter. And go ahead, Aaron.
I was just gonna say the main thing, and like I said, I don't want to be the guy like yelling at the clouds or whatever, but I just felt like it was a match where what they were doing was impressive, Like the moves they were doing were impressive, but to me, it just felt like they were doing moves, and there wasn't enough like selling of the moves, like that. And you can correct me if I flipped them, but what was it? Koto Brazil.
Kodo Brazil, yes.
I wanted to keep calling him like Coco, like Coco Beware.
Yeah.
But Coco Brazil hit 2 fucking amazing looking dives and hit the other dude into the rail. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But that
those
dude,
planches.
he had those planches. But then, like 12 seconds later, the Cisco looking dude was like up and doing like a backflip somersault flip after he took those 2 big fucking planches. So what I'm saying makes sense.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
what they were doing looked good, but there wasn't enough registering of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like when you watch Will Ospreay or Zack Sabre. You know, you can say these guys are really good, but are they good professional wrestlers? I get it.
Like that was my only pushback of the matches. I don't think
Also,
either one of them sold enough of the shit they were doing to each other.
All right.
Mark
Right.
was going to say
And
before I cut him off.
What was that?
Like I feel like they should have swapped the tires. Like that Kodo should have had on the attire that Myron had on, and Myron should have had on his attire, because with a name like Kodo Brazil, you would expect them to have those colors.
Well, the next thing we get after this, like I said, Kodo wins this match. Then we get a promo from MJF, who is talking about his upcoming match with the Scuzz Bucket, Joey Ryan, for the middleweight championship of MLW. And I remember, and I honest to God, and this is not even, Aaron might even remember. I don't know if he does or not, but I remember back at this time telling everybody that I could say it to, watch this MJF guy on MLW. He is fucking fantastic. Like, I saw it, and I'm not trying to even, just because I know he's like one of the biggest stars in the world now. I'm not making it up. I saw it in that guy, man. You could see it. He was just a star waiting to happen.
Well, I don't remember you saying that, but
his promos are.
But you can see it here. My note was this interviewer lady's fucking hot. I don't know who the fuck that is. But good Lord. She's a smoke show.
And then we get a promo. We get another promo. What's that?
The interviewer lady, what's her name?
I have no idea what her name is.
She's fucking hot. Well, go ahead.
The next thing is a promo.
Well, we had Aaron's attention there.
Yeah, he's got five stars for the interviewer lady. All I know is later on, MJF calls her dollar store Oprah. So
yeah, that's later, but she's fucking goddamn Target Oprah or Nordstrom's Oprah. She's fantastic.
Well, up next we had a promo from Conan, who's going to be in the Battle Riot. And then a promo video for LA Park, who is about to be coming to MLW at this time. And then we get a promo from the Scuzz Bucket, Joey Ryan, discussing the match coming up with MJF.
Yeah, Joey Ryan, piece of shit. I told you guys in the chat how I feel about Joey Ryan. I have no respect for one, even if he wouldn't have the other shit that he did. I have no respect for the guy because he insults the professional wrestling business for the gimmick that he does and what he does in the ring. But even outside of the ring, for how he treated women and everything, I have no time for Joey Ryan.
Yeah, he's pretty much a
right
disgusting human being.
He's the Weinstein of wrestling. Like, seriously, he is. He's a disgusting human being. And the fact that he did the shit that he did is one thing, but then try to countersue the people that he did that to because they gave him defamation of character is fucking disgusting. I hate that motherfucker. I hate him. Never met him, but I hate him. And there's not a lot. There's like 7 people that if they walked into a room, I'd want to fucking drill him in the face, and he's one of them. Fucking hate him.
Mark, any comments?
It was. I'm with Aaron about the whole gimmick thing. Like, to me, it's kind of. I'll probably comment more because I have some notes on that. Like the certain shit that happens there is like, wow.
I have a new door, by the way. It doesn't slam anymore. Quiet it is. But no, Joey Ryan is somebody that I think should just be erased. I really do. Like, he's somebody that I don't even want. Like, I hate him so much that I don't even think like he should be talked about. But when somebody brings him up, it's just like I want to. He's a see you next Tuesday. That's it. That's what I think of him, and I just think the guy is a black eye on wrestling, not only for the work that he did, but just the person that he is.
The match
and I love
itself
him
is
saying this the whole time with a Blockbuster shirt on.
the match itself is MJF and Joey Ryan for the MLW Middleweight Championship. This is one of the things I wrote down. Matt Stryker is so apt when he says here that he calls Joey Ryan wrestling a wrestling transmittable disease. I love that line. That was a great line. But the match itself, I guess I don't know, because I like MJF, but the fact that he's in there with Joey Ryan, the match, to me, it's bad. You know, the dick stuff is stupid. The I don't know, just I don't. MJF didn't do a bad job, but it's a bad match because Joey Ryan's in it.
And MJF should be embarrassed that he did any of it.
My notes on it was MJF's a heat magnet. That putting the lollipop in another man's mouth after you've been sucking on it, that shit really grosses me out.
Joey Ryan gave
all the sexual innuendos by Ryan.
Joey Ryan gave that fan herpes. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And all the sexual innuendos by Ryan should have been a forewarning as to what was going to come. MJF winning was a good call. The fact that he participated in this debacle showed his dedication to the business.
Well, and Aaron, I know you said, he should be embarrassed that he was a part of it. And I get that. But on the other hand, at this time, he's just a younger guy trying to come up, and he's going to do what they tell him to do. I
get that, but I'm just saying in general.
Mark froze up on us. We'll try to get him back. I'm going to message him, let him know. But yeah, like I said, it's MJF. I like MJF, and MJF was fine here, but he sucked because he was in a match with Joey Ryan.
And MJF, and this is probably not going to be a popular comment, but eventually, when MJF gets to the WWE, he's going to be one of the biggest stars in the world.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. There's absolutely no doubt.
He's not the biggest star in the world right now. He's the biggest star. He might be one of the biggest stars in the wrestling industry. But in 2 years or whatever, when that guy's contract runs out and he goes and works for the E, he's going to be a fucking star.
Mark, you're back.
They think that pop that Cody got was big.
Yeah.
They think that pop that Cody got was big. Wait till MJF comes out.
And I'm not knocking AEW. Not at all. Because people want to love it, and that's fine. But when that guy gets into an arena that actually has sold out asses every 18 inches, he'll be a fucking star. He's not a star yet, but he will be.
After the match, which MJF wins the match, I think I even forgot to write down the finish just because to be honest with you, I wasn't.
He got a pack. Fucking POS took a fucking lollipop out of his dick pocket and put it in MJF's mouth. Then MJF ended up hitting a package pile driver on him and pinning him.
After the match, MJF cuts a promo, and this is where I put he called the interviewer the dollar store Oprah Winfrey. And then he talks about the veterans in the back, back giving him advice and do this kid and do that kid and you'll be a star. And he essentially says to all the vets, essentially, I love it because he's like the first wrestler to cut a promo about the veterans and then say, I didn't need you anyway. Usually when they cut that promo, they're cutting a babyface promo and they're like, all the guys that did this for me in the back or whatever. And he's just like, yeah, just so you know, I've always been a star. I really didn't need you anyway.
Yeah, MJF's great, but I didn't enjoy this match because piece of shit was in it. Just saying.
I like the fact that he was like, it's talent over tenure.
Yeah. He should have made that a thing. That's that kind of, it's catchy,
Use that on saggy tit Jericho now. Have MJF and Jericho had a feud yet?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I don't watch it.
Yeah.
My dog's pissed off. Sorry.
It's all right. Well, then after this, we get a little bit of stuff that really doesn't. I mean, it does have a little bit of impact on the match, the Battle Riot match itself at some point. But essentially, they're showing us here the story of Shane Strickland and the MLW Championship and how it's now on low key, and the things that have transpired to make that happen. And one of the things that I have to comment on, though, is there is a promo, and it is low-key with his manager, Serena De La Renta. How she has never made it to one of the big two promotions, I don't know, because she is really good. Really good. She's a good bitch heel manager.
All right. No, I said, am I the only one that got the vibes that Low-Key could have played Hitman in the movie?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what he's going for.
He has the look. He has the, and he's another guy that I'll say, like right there with Stryker as a commentator. For me as a wrestler, Low-Key's always been, I never understood why he didn't go farther than he did. He's really, really good.
Everything I heard about him, he had a, like I said, I'm not in the business and any of that, but everything I heard about him was that he had kind of an attitude of I'm better than everybody else, and nobody needs to tell me anything.
Well, that's not going to go too far in the WWE, that's for sure.
Yeah. Like when he did that Caval gimmick, it was like, oh, I'm not Caval, I'm low key, and this, that, and the other thing. It's like, go in there, do what they, how do I say it? It's like, go into it, take what they give you, and then show them what you can do. You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of like, I try to preface this, like when I say this about people, it's kind of like what Cactus did. Like, Mick didn't want to be, what was it? Morphous the Mutilator or whatever they fucking called him.
I think he was going to be Morgus the Mutilator or something like that.
So then he was like, what about Mankind? And they were like, okay. And then they gave him the suit, and he's like, oh, the suit. And he's like, I'm in all brown. I look like a turd. But at least he got Mankind past him, like I'm Mankind. And then, okay, I'll show him what I can do with Mankind, and I'll put my different stuff. I'll put my, like, this is what we want you to do with it. Okay, well, I'm going to put, once they give it to me, I'm going to put my twist on it, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then they start noticing what you're doing with the character that they gave you, and then they feel comfortable enough with you being able to
evolve
have on it,
Yeah, it's just like any other job. You have to eat their shit to get promoted.
Yeah, and learn their ways of doing it, and then showing them, okay, well, I've done what you've wanted me to do. Now see what I can do with what you gave me, and now I'm going to add to it and make it better. Like Mick did that, and then he eventually got into the Three Faces of Foley, and Cactus Jack got on the WWF and all that shit. If Low Key would have fucking ate the goddamn Caval shit and just used it to his benefit, he probably would have had a better career.
Jericho went through the same thing the first year he was there.
Jericho's a good example too. It's like, that's what people need to do, but there's guys that just have this fucking whatever
dickwad mentality.
Yeah. That they don't want to do that. It's like, and I think that's what hindered his time there. Like, because Low Key went in on NXT when they were doing the fucking reality show shit on it. You know what I mean? And he didn't accept it. Guess who did accept the fucking game show shit and went with it? Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Daniel Bryan's fucking coach on NXT was The Miz, and he fucking owned it, and he made him realize that he was a fucking star because he took the shit and he made it work. And he didn't have the preconditioned or whatever thought of, I'm better than these people or this guy or that guy. He just went in there, did his fucking job that was given to him, played his role, and turned it into fucking something. And Low Key didn't do that. I think his coaches were the Bellas, and he didn't utilize it. It could have been great shit. Like, if I'm a sports entertainer writer, and I take this guy that has the personality of a fucking Brillo pad, and I put him with the Bellas, I'm gonna make this shit work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway.
So now we roll into the Battle Riot match itself, and the rules. It's kind of like a Royal Rumble, but not. There are 40 participants. One enters every minute, and you can be eliminated over the top rope to the floor, or also by pinfall or submission. So
it's like a 99 World War III or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like the stipulation that you could bring anything you wanted to the ring.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about it is a lot of times when you see a promotion do something like a Royal Rumble, it doesn't come off good just because I don't think that there aren't a lot of wrestling minds like a Pat Patterson or whoever books the Rumbles now that can conceptualize a match like that. And I'm sure
Right.
Court Bauer was in charge of this, and I thought it was constructed well. I thought it was well paced.
But didn't only one person bring something into the ring?
I think so. I think you're right.
It was just Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah.
Well, the first two, they kind of do the demolition open here. You know, the first Royal Rumble the first Royal Rumble on pay-per-view, where it happened to be Axe and Smash that drew number one. That's pro wrestling, though. Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix draw number 1 and 2.
Pentagon Phoenix and Ray Phoenix. Are their last names Phoenix?
No, it's Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix.
But Pentagon's last name is Phoenix because that's his brother.
No.
So it's Pentagon Phoenix.
Well, I mean, they don't say Pentagon Phoenix though.
Or is Ray's last name Junior?
That's a good question.
Ray Junior and it wasn't Ray Junior.
Right.
He was on SmackDown.
Well, of course, because these two guys are the ones that start. It's a hot start to the show, to the match. You know, I'm a big fan of these two. And number 3 is Big Sloppy Brody King.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah, but
I'm not a fan.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest though. Like the way that he's always been billed in all these promotions and stuff, I expected him to last longer than he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you have the problem in this one. You have the problem, and that's one of the problems in this one is there are too many quote unquote monsters in the match, so it's hard to put over. You know what I mean? It's hard to have 5 or 6 monsters in a match and then put over a certain guy as the monster of the match because he's not the monster of the match.
Yeah, there's quite a few monstrosities in it too.
So, like I told these guys before we recorded, I had notes in between some of the entries and not in between all of the entries. So if you guys, as we go through, have any notes in between, cut me off.
I have no notes. I just have who entered because a lot of these guys, I have no idea who they are.
All right. Well, Mark, if you have anything, just cut me off and just chime in at any time.
Yeah, about Pentagon and Phoenix starting it out. It was refreshing that they didn't just wait on the next person.
Right. Number 4.
They should have. Like, if I'm in a battle royal and then I see Nate come out, I'm just going to be like, you want a cigarette? And just chill. But anyway, go ahead.
Number 4 is Ken Doan, who those of you may remember him as Kenny. Yes, Kenny from the Spirit Squad.
Kenny Dykstra.
He's one of those guys. I don't know. WWE tried with him, and it just didn't work out. He's there now. He's actually an agent now.
He's an agent now. He just broke up. I just saw him on Raw like 2 weeks ago breaking up something. I don't know what it was, but he was out there breaking it up.
Yeah, a part of me popped. I was like, Spirit Squad.
Yeah, fucking Adam Pearce is doing his fucking employee review tomorrow, I think.
You know what? You know what was like one of the, speaking of Spirit Squad, you know, it was actually not
Spirit
wrestling.
Squad was cool.
No,
I don't give a fuck what anybody's cool ass fucking gimmick.
It was different. That's for damn sure.
And not taking away from any of the. I'm not talking about the wrestling, but I think my favorite thing about the whole act would be when they would be getting ready to do their cheer, and Nick Nemeth would be like, "Ready,
yeah,
ready,
okay,
okay."
Yeah. The fucking Spirit Squad was a great fucking gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we got Dolph Ziggler out of that.
I just think that gimmick was 3 years too late. I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
The next guy that enters number 5 is Tom Lawler, who I am a fan of. Is he still in MLW? Mark?
Don't get me lying. I haven't watched anything on MLW in like the last 3 or 4 months.
Okay. Well, he's another guy that at this time when I was watching along with MJF and Shane Strickland, I thought was going to be, all right, this guy's going to be in WWE. Because at this time, AEW didn't exist, folks. So there was no AEW to consider. But I figured this dude would be in the WWE within a couple of years, and just has never happened. So I don't know if he went back to MMA or what the deal was, but I like him.
He's probably
he reminded me of Ken Shamrock, except for with better promo ability.
Yeah.
he's probably an agent now.
Number 6 is Lance Anoa'i, one of the as Matt Stryker says it, Anoa'i family.
I don't remember this one.
He's Samu's son.
Okay, when I saw it and they were like, "Oh, Lance Anoa'i," I was like, "Is this like a Lance Von Erich? Like he's a fake one?" I don't remember this one.
They're just gonna strap all the fake ones with the name Lance.
Huh. This is Lance Anoa'i, Lance Von Erich.
Here's Lance Hart,
Lance Lawler, Lance McMahon,
Lance Steiner.
Yeah, Lance Steiner, Lance Anderson.
That one sounds like it actually. Lance Anderson sounds like it actually happened. I don't know why, but
he's probably debuting on NXT next week.
Number 7 to come in is Ray Horace, and I put a note that I have here. Pentagon hits a sick enziguri on Horace when they have their little altercation.
Horace Boulder?
No, not Horace Boulder. Number 8.
No, it's the little luchador guy.
Max Mini? We're going to talk about Max Mini on my show whenever we do that. Anyway, go ahead.
That Microman guy that Chad keeps talking about.
Yeah, Microman's up next.
Kevin Sullivan, number 8. And he has the golden spike with him. Tony makes reference to it. He doesn't think he's seen the golden spike since 1983. The crowd pops, of course, because it's Kevin fucking Sullivan. And
can I say this? I didn't say it at the top of what we were talking about. And I put, like, Nate, you like doing like unpopular opinions or whatever on the Facebook page or whatever. Fucking Tony does a great job on this fucking show.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Tony's great. Tony Schiavone is great. He's great. When you give him a product he can sink his teeth into, he's
fantastic. Just saying.
There's a reason that two reasons that he had the staying ability and why he's still doing what he does today. Number 1 is he's very good at his job. And number 2 is that I've never heard anybody say anything that he wasn't the most sincere, supportive.
Bobby hated him.
Yeah, I know. Bobby didn't like him, but I think that was more just their chemistry. But just like I was recently, as you guys know, I was on John Arezzi's podcast and I was on with Eric Bischoff. And I asked Eric, because with the time frame that we were talking about was in 93, where Bill Watts had just been shit canned and Eric was about to take his job. Okay. And I asked him, I said, there's so much negative that people talk about all the time about, and he agreed that it was like a Shark Tank, in the upper echelons of WCW, and that people were trying to undercut other people all the time. And I asked him, but who was your biggest supporters when you first got your job? And he said the first person to call him was Tony Schiavone. And he said him and his wife and Tony and his wife went out to dinner. And Tony told him, "You have the job now. I will, even though I was also going for the job, you're the man in charge. It's your vision. I will do whatever you need me to do to support you. I will do whatever you want me to do to make it succeed. That's a stand-up guy, you know. Tony was going for that job too.
Yep.
So, I mean, what a way to put into perspective the kind of person Tony is behind the scenes.
You can't say that the better man won there, but
But the man that won, and the guy that didn't was like, you know what? You're the boss now, and I'm here for the ride. You know?
Yeah. He knew how to do his fucking job.
Look,
I respect him. I respect a motherfucker that can stay in his lane.
Yep.
and you know why? Because in my life, I'm a motherfucker that can stay in his lane.
Well, Kevin Sullivan comes in here and wreaks a little havoc for 30 seconds or whatever, and then Tom Lawler makes him tap out. You weren't going to expect Kevin Sullivan at his age in 2018 to be in there for 30 minutes, so this was fine.
And he can't even see.
Yeah, Sullivan definitely wasn't winning the Battle Riot.
And he can't even see over the top rope.
Number 9 is Falaba.
I love Falaba. I love the whole gimmick just because it's like, to me, it's like Yokozuna mixed with Rikishi mixed with some comedy. I mean, not Rikishi, Umaga. It's Yoko Umaga mixed with some comedy
and some gym shorts.
One of the
seriously though, him coming out like bah, bah, bah.
Don't put the thong on if you ain't willing to let it either form fit or show your ass. He's wearing some Zumbas with a goddamn thong. Follow blah.
Number 10 is Swoggle.
He
comes in and bites Falaba in the ass. And then essentially
that shit was hilarious.
Everybody.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Essentially, they do Hornswoggle as Brock Lesnar in this thing. He just proceeds to belly to back suplex everybody in the match. Is it? So here's the question. I know we were all chuckling at it, but is Hornswoggle being able to suplex all these men in the ring shitting on the business? A fine line, huh? We like to say it. But can we walk the walk? We can talk the talk, but can we walk the walk?
Yes and no.
I would say this, Nate. And I'm a very much environment person.
Mm-hmm.
In this environment, it's not.
Okay.
And I've always been like an environmental person in wrestling. Like in this environment, no. Because it's like Mark said when you were supposedly talking to your wife, but probably dropping heat. Mark was like, this is a glorified indie show. So they're in front of their audience at that time doing their thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in this environment at that time doing their thing, no, I don't think it's shitting on the business. It's the same way where we were talking about Cornette and all the stuff that he shit on. Like, I like watching shit from Chikara. Like, I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a room in front of like 100 people and they're just having fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But if you would have Hornswoggle go out on WrestleMania and he's fucking belly to back and German suplex and Brock Lesnar, I'm gonna be like, fuck off. But if he's throwing around fucking fake Lance Anawana and fucking Ray Hours, I don't give a fuck.
And I'll say this: going back to Kenny sold the suplex, the belly to back suplex, the best.
Yeah, like to me, I don't have a problem with that.
It was meant for comedy, and it definitely accomplished its job.
The next man out is.
But if somebody's gonna, and the other thing too is, I weigh 182 pounds. Okay. But I'm not an athletic human being. Hornswoggle's a midget. Are we allowed to say midget anymore? Can we say midget on this show?
He's vertically challenged.
We can say anything on this show. The only person that can cancel it is me.
Okay. I'm a 185-pound normal man. Hornswoggle's a trained professional wrestler. So guess what he might be able to do to me?
Suplex you.
He might be able to fucking suplex me. He might be able to get me off my balance and suplex me because he's a trained fucking professional wrestler. So I will say he's a trained professional wrestler, so he might be able to do that.
He needs to open up a wrestling school and call it School of Swag.
So he might be able to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if fucking, I don't know where I was going at. Sorry. Who's the next person out?
The next guy out is Samu, and he gets eliminated by his own son, Lance.
Supposedly.
Too brute.
Supposedly. His own son.
His alleged son. Okay.
To the best of our knowledge.
He might come out in the magazines later and say that was a lie, and he was a cousin that lied about it.
Next out is ACH, and then Conan, and then
Precious comes out.
Precious.
Yeah. That fat black chick from the movie.
Oh, I was thinking Jimmy Garvin's Precious. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Fat black rod from that movie.
Like, what did I miss?
the biggin from that movie.
The Barrington Hughes.
That was
Barrington Hughes.
That wasn't.
Fun fact: I've actually had conversations with Barrington Hughes. He's a good person, and if you follow like his journey on actually making it to somewhat, the bigger time, not so low key, 50 people in a bar type wrestling promotions, it's actually pretty cool.
I thought that was that big black broad from the movie.
Barrington Hughes is a big old dude. For those of you that haven't gathered the theme here, he's a big fella.
The caramel Kodiak.
I love that.
The caramel Kodiak.
The Caribou Klondike?
The
caramel Kodiak.
Oh, I just thought he was a big fat black broad. It's okay.
Well, Barrington and Falaba do the fat guy thing where they just stand belly to belly and kind of belly bop each other.
Yeah, Precious was like, "Give me a break.
Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar."
Yeah, I thought it was Precious or Nell Carter. I wasn't sure.
Number 15 is
Nate's trying to get me away from that.
Number 15 is Jimmy. I don't know who he is.
Big fat black broad from Give Me a Break, right?
I know that. They actually do a, usually when they do, the guys gang up on the fat guy to get him out of a battle royal, and then they succeed. I actually like this spot where Phoenix and Penta are trying to get Falaba out, and they get him out, but his big fat momentum takes them over with him, and they actually get eliminated. I thought that was a cool spot.
Yeah, there's a spot later where they put out Nell Carter and everybody goes out.
Yeah.
We're jumping ahead.
Number 16 is Cotto Brazil. Number 17 is Richard Holiday.
Yeah, Nate.
That's him.
Tell me what you think about Richard Holiday.
Not much.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the one dude in this entire fucking thing that his entrance, his look, his size, that I would think that if a WWE agent was looking at it, would be the one dude they were like, this guy could be one of our guys.
Okay. He just didn't make an impact on me, I guess.
He didn't have a lot.
And I made the comment
in the match. He didn't do a lot in the match, but I'm just saying, like his build, his size, like he's about the same size of what's his name, the guy that wound up being T-Bar.
Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah. He's the same size as that fucking guy. He's got a build, and he actually was the first guy that I saw in this entire thing that looked like a fucking. And I'm not saying this being negative. I'm saying this as looking at it as like a WWF or WWE type agent would look at it, as he's the first guy that looked like a fucking wrestler. Like a like a Billy Gunn sized guy. You know what I mean?
And I made the comment that his gimmick is how they should have strapped on Ted DiBiase, like that most marketable man in wrestling thing. And Aaron made the comment that's how they should have pushed Corbin.
Yeah. Like he's the first guy that came out where I looked at it I was like, this dude looks like a fucking wrestler. You know, like when we said it fucking Heroes of Legends or whatever, and watch the guys come out in the Battle Royal, and we're like, that guy looks like the guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's the first guy in this entire Battle Royal where I was like, that guy looks like a fucking wrestler. But
number 18 is a gentleman named Fred Yehi. I don't know.
I wrote Fred Yeti. I thought he was the Yeti. Tony Schiavone should have picked up on that. He should have been like, Fred Yeti.
It's actually Yay High.
Yay High. Yay High.
Yeah. Yeah. Like did you see that short feller? He was Yay High.
That was Kevin Sullivan.
It's back to the Yeti again, Aaron. Number 19. I didn't even catch the guys. Mark, Aaron, somebody. I just wrote down number 19, and I wrote down Jason. I don't know who he was.
That's all that
said was Jason.
Okay. Well, I guess I wasn't not paying attention then, because that's all I wrote. And then we have, like Aaron said, we have the spot next where everybody goes to eliminate Barrington Hughes. They eliminate him, but everybody goes over with him. So it leaves Tom Lawler in the ring as the solo participant. And then Teddy Hart is number 20. And do you think Teddy Hart went into business for himself here?
Yeah. That's all he gives a fuck about is himself and his cats. That spot, this whole fucking spot, he should have not even been in this damn thing, if you ask me. Like, that whole spot was stupid. Come out, get up on the damn rope and do a moonsault and eliminate yourself because you're too much of a pansy to get in the ring with Tom Lawler.
Teddy Hart is and this might be, and I'm not even gonna say this of saying any promotion that did it with him, but Teddy Hart is one of the biggest wastes of talent that has ever existed. And it's not any promotion or anything that anybody tried to do with him, is even on himself. Because that dude could have been and should have been one of the biggest stars in the history of wrestling.
Right.
But
I
his
agree.
shit attitude and weirdness and inability to not
be so egotistical
and insane
And unprofessional.
and unprofessional is a fucking shame, because that dude has amazing charisma and talent, and if he would have just been able to not be whatever the fuck he is now, could have been one of the biggest stars in the business. Like,
yeah, he's gonna hear this. He's gonna hear this and troll the fuck out of us now.
Huh?
He's gonna hear this and troll the fuck out of us now.
Well, I don't give a shit. I'll tell him. Him and his cats can fuck off. But if he would have kept his head straight, like he was, I don't want to say it. He was all the Hearts did singly great together.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I agree. He had so much potential, but he just pissed it all down the drain.
Yeah. Like he was as good as Owen was in the ring, and as good as Brett was in the ring, but also had the charisma and the promo ability of Bruce, because Bruce had great promos. I don't care. I've watched Bruce promos; they're good. That dude had all of the elements of all of the great Hearts, and it was just all packaged together, and he just did nothing with it because he just wanted to be a prick and fucking pet his cats and whatever. I don't want to talk too much about Teddy Hart because he was an asshole here, but I just think that dude squandered his career.
Number 21 is a man named Vandal Ortagon, who's apparently from Turkey. And
he had a good look to him.
Yeah, he's quickly dispatched, though, by Tom Lawler.
Yeah, he's stuffed. That turkey got stuffed.
It sure did. Then number 22, I love Mike Mondo.
And I love the fact that his choke out breathing was with the whistle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you hear what Tony Schiavone said?
I didn't write it down if I did. He
said, it's not even a good whistle. It looks like he bought it from Five Below.
I was waiting on a spot for where they stuck that whistle where the sun didn't shine, though.
Yeah, that was great. It was great to see Mike Mondo in this match. I was always a fan of Mike. He's one of those guys that it sucks to say it, but he's one of those guys where his size is what hurt him, as far as getting upward mobility.
Yeah, and he was.
Right.
I think I don't know if I'm right, but I think he became a teacher trainer later.
Yeah,
it's kind of like he had. Oh, sorry, Nate.
No, that's all right. Go ahead.
Not the substance abuse of it, but he's kind of like a Joey Mercury. It's
Gotcha.
like we're the people in the business understand how talented he is, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a Norm McDonald.
Number 23 is PCO.
I popped.
Yeah. Gotta love PCO.
Did you hear the comments that they made? They were like, I don't think he could choke him out. He'll probably like it.
What Bruce Pritchard say about him? He's like, he can catch a ball. I that's one of my unpopular opinions too. Is people don't like Bruce Pritchard. I like Bruce Pritchard. Like I appreciate Bruce Pritchard for being as loyal as he is to the McMahon family. But like that's one thing like he would always say about fucking Jean-Pierre Lafitte. It's like, yeah, he's got one eye, but he can catch a ball. You know, it's like throw the ball over here and he still fucking catch it. How goddamn impressive is that?
I was a fan of him in the Quebecers. I was a fan of him as Jean-Pierre Lafitte. And I am like, I know the gimmick's silly, the PCO thing is silly, but it was at this time, and even to this day, it was so cool to see him get like a resurrection of his career.
Yeah,
you know,
and he's an underrated. I know he's not the biggest dude in the world, but I'd consider him a big man wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Nate, we were talking about when I asked you if Animal, would you consider Animal a big man wrestler?
Yeah,
he's about the same size as Animal,
right? Yeah,
he could do them flips, he could do all that shit, and he was in. You might not remember it, or neither one of you might not remember it, but remember when they had what the fuck was his name? It was in TNA, it was like Mr. X or whatever. Yeah. And it was like the X guy in the X division.
Yep.
That was Jacques, or not Jacques. That was Pierre. Like that was him. He was doing that flip where he'd fucking land on the ramp and fucking TNA. Fucking PCO is a fucking talent. And he did great with Jacques. He had great fucking matches with Brett. Were all of his gimmicks great? No. But he was a talented fucking wrestler. And he resurrected his goddamn career.
Number 24 is another Anoa'i. It's LA Smooth. PCO pins him. Is that the only? Because it's the only one I have. Is that the only one that's where somebody got pinned in the match?
Now there was a couple of
No, because
okay.
Barrington Hughes eliminated Lance Anoa'i and I want to say Kenny with he used one hand on each.
Oh, okay.
This is the only time Stryker fucks up in the match too, calling it. Because he comes out and his cryon says LA Smooth, and he comes out and Matt Stryker's like, oh, here's Lloyd Anawani. He calls him Lloyd. He calls him that. Here's a Lloyd.
That's intimidating.
Yeah, Lloyd's out here. But that's okay.
Number 25 is Simon Gotch.
Goddamn right it is. And sorry, you guys probably didn't want to say anything else about Simon Gotch. But I got to say about Simon Gotch.
Go ahead.
It is one of the last gimmicks, like legitimate gimmicks, that the WWE did that I thought was fantastic.
The Vaudevillains.
The Vaudevillains should have been way bigger than what they were. That was a fucking great gimmick. Him and Aiden English should have went to the fucking moon. He's another one of those guys, like I forget who you were talking about earlier. He's another one of those guys that it was, from everything I understood, it was attitude that got in his way. Yeah. But I just thought that fucking gimmick was great.
Yeah. And I enjoyed the fact that it was kind of like the circus strongman type thing.
Yeah, like when the guy would come out with the big horn or whatever at the beginning of it and like the Vaudevillain. I thought that Vaudevillains gimmick was great.
Number 26 is Homicide. Number 27, this is the guy. This is another one of those guys that I'm like, why? has WWE never capitalized on him. It's Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get how you have that talent and squander it. But he didn't squander it. They did. It's not his fault.
From what I understood, he had an alcohol problem.
So did Jake Roberts. They
Who
used him
doesn't
for
have
10
an- who
years.
doesn't have an alcohol problem?
Cheers.
Number 28 is the Blue Meanie, which popped me. I love the Blue Meanie's dance thing when he does, like, when he's trying to get somebody to dance with him, and he doesn't do, like, he's got the dance, but when he's, like, trying to get somebody to dance with him, he just does it just a little bit. Like,
Right.
he'll just be like,
You want to do this?
this is what we do. This is what you got to do right here. Just do this. But anyway, it was cool to see Blue Meanie.
Talking about interviews, have you ever listened to any of his interviews?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He seems like the most humblest fucking dude.
Like,
Oh, sorry, Nate.
I was just going to say his interviews generally are great, but if you have not, the best interview I've ever heard him do, and I think it was because they had the interviewer got the most out of him. A guy that was on our show a few weeks ago and a member of our Facebook group, Brian R. Solomon, he was on Shut Up and Wrestle. And I always put over podcasts I like, and that's definitely a great fucking podcast. But one of the first episodes of Shut Up and Wrestle with Brian Solomon, he had Blue Meanie on it, and it is a great interview. Talking about him being a fan and I don't know, he's a great
All
interview.
he wanted to do was make enough money in the wrestling business to buy his was his grandma
Mm-hmm.
and mom a fucking house. Like, that's all I want to do. I just want to make enough money to support you two because you supported me while I was doing this.
Right.
And he was a bleacher creature in the ECW, and it's like he's one of the true fans like we are that was able to turn it into a fucking career. And
I watched the interview of his one time, and then I sent it to Chad Austin, and Chad Austin sent me a message back and said he don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Of course, Chad would say that.
and Chad was saying, nobody knows who the fuck they're
That's
talking.
Chad's gimmick, brother. Everybody's a ham bone. That's Chad's gimmick.
Yeah.
You be like, did you watch Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko? And he'd be like, those hams.
Did you watch Ben Franklin write the goddamn Declaration of Independence? Be like, that fucking queer doesn't know what he's talking about.
Look at his ham bone hair. Look at his ham bone hairdo.
Yeah, look at that queer in his capri pants. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Number 29 is a gentleman named Michael Patrick.
I fucking don't know him. Who'd he ever beat?
Number 30 is Sammy Callahan. Boo.
Yeah. Do you know what's in my notes, Nate? In my quotations?
Is it about Tommy Cairo?
Yeah, it's when Tommy Cairo, Nate, and I and Chad were talking to him, and Sam and Tommy Cairo was watching TV, and Sammy Callahan came on. And he was like, "Oh, there's Sally Callahan. Look at that guy, looking like a little dyke." That's what he said. Sammy Callahan looks like a little dyke. That was funny. But go ahead.
Number 31 is Sawyer Fulton.
Who looks like a fucking star.
Yep.
That guy should be bigger. That guy should be a bigger deal in wrestling than he is now.
I agree.
Yeah.
Murder Hawk. That dude should be a fucking star.
That's a Madman Fulton, ain't it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was with Eric Young in the.
So did I miss? Did I mix up the guys?
No, Sawyer Fulton was Madman Fulton. You said Murder Hawk. Murder Hawk is Lance Archer. But
Sorry.
Yeah.
that's all right. But yeah, I knew what you were saying, and yeah, he was Madman Fulton. He was with the what the fuck was Eric Young's still stable called?
By design, wasn't it?
No, I mean in WWE. Wasn't he with them in WWE
Sanity.
too? Sanity, yes.
Yeah.
The modern stuff, I don't retain it like I did.
That's where it went away. So I'm sorry if people are getting mad because I fucked up somebody's goddamn nickname. If I did, go fuck yourself.
Number 32 is Shane Strickland, who I am a big fan of, as everybody knows.
I don't know nothing about him.
Number 33 is Leon Scott, who I believe is one half of the Dirty Blondes tag team.
They made that joke saying that he looked like a modern Dick Murdoch.
Yeah, Dick Murdoch. Number 34 is Drago.
I like his look. Like that whole gimmick is cool to me for some reason. I don't know why it's over. It's different.
Mm-hmm. And I agree, but I honestly, if I have seen much of him, like not in a situation like this, like actually in a match, I don't remember it. So I don't know about his in-ring work, but you're right. He had a cool look and a cool gimmick.
Yeah.
Number 35 is Leo Bryan, the other half of the Dirty Blondes, and they say he is the son of Bobby Jaggers. So for me, he's immediately on the shelf. He's immediately on the shelf for me.
Like on your collectible shelf, like behind you.
What about it?
He's on your collectible shelf because you love Bobby Jaggers.
Yeah. If they made a Bobby Jaggers figure, I would buy it just to melt it with a blowtorch. I mean, it would already look like it was half melted anyway.
Look like that thing from the Goonies. Hey, you guys.
Big fat no talent. All right, number 36 is, speaking of no talent, Joey Ryan. 37 is MJF. They come out and they pretty much both get eliminated. I don't remember. Did they eliminate each other?
No.
Not in my notes.
They were eliminated by the guys that were with Sami Callihan.
Oh, okay. All right. So they're both out.
They were eliminated by Bobby Jaggers Jr. Right?
Yeah, it was one of the guys that was with Sami and the other one, Dirty Blonde.
Yeah, Bobby Jaggers Jr.
Yeah.
Number 38
simultaneously.
Is BJJ.
Number 38 is Jake Hager. Number 39 is John Hennigan. So Jake Hager comes out, then John Hennigan comes out, and all of a sudden I think I'm watching Royal Rumble 2010. But it's not. It's not. But yeah, John Hennigan, of course, is John Morrison. Jake Hager is Jack Swagger, or those of you that watch AEW now know he's Jake Hager. That guy,
with him coming in so late, I was like, man, this is my pick.
And him in a ring with, and I'm not dissing the other people in the ring. Don't get me wrong, but him in the ring with the talent that is in this MLW roster at this time, he looks like a WWE fucking superstar. You know what I mean? Like you see a man, and I'm not dissing the other wrestlers, but there you can look in a ring with a bunch of guys in it and say that guy is a WWE fucking superstar, and that's
you're talking about Swagger.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree with Swagger. All right. Jack Swagger's a fucking talent, and I'm sorry I keep calling him Swagger. That's just what I think of him.
It's embroidered.
The All-American.
Yeah. But
we the people.
What I don't understand is why that company has hired, fired, and fired somebody like John Morrison either. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. That dude's a fucking talent.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
He's got charisma. He can fucking talk. I've never seen him do anything bad in the fucking ring.
The only thing I'll say, there's only, to me, honestly, there's only one hole in John Morrison's game. And it's not even really like a bad thing. I never dig him as much when he's a face as when he's a heel. He's just, to me, he's just a natural heel.
Yeah, he looks like an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he's got that smug, cocky prick look.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that might be why they fucking released him or whatever. Because I just think maybe he was miscast, but that's not his fault,
right?
You know. But like, it's kind of like you were saying, Nate, where Swagger's on your TV and this guy looks like a fucking star.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I think the same thing, but I also think the same thing about Morrison. It's like, why the fuck would you even ever get rid of this guy?
And I felt like him and The Miz was a good pair in WWE.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And number 40 is a walking case of hepatitis, Jimmy Havoc. Like, when I look at him, I just like, if there was a commercial about like a prescription to get rid of hepatitis, Jimmy Havoc would play hepatitis in the commercial.
He looked like he just had a needle in his arm before he come out.
Yeah. I don't really know who he is.
You're not missing shit. So the match progresses, and then pretty much the last.
You sounded like Raylan Givens' dad there. Shit.
Arlo Givens. God
yeah,
damn.
like Arlo Givens. Shit.
The last four in the Battle Royal are Shane Strickland, Sami Callihan. I'm sorry. Yeah, right. Am I right? It's Strickland, Callihan, Hager, and Morrison, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Wait. No. You said who now?
I said Strickland, Callihan, John Hager. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't write Tom Lawler down.
You're wrong.
Yeah, Lawler. It's Tom Lawler, Hager, Morrison, Strickland, and Sami. And then I wrote down here Strickland and Sami are on the apron. And then Sami gives Strickland a pile driver on the apron and eliminates him. And then as soon as that happens, Tom Lawler puts a sleeper on Sami, and Sami falls to the ground, which eliminates him. So our final three are John Hager, I keep saying Morrison, but here they're billing him as John Hennigan, but John Morrison, John Hager, or Jack Hager.
Jake Hager.
And too many J's. And Tom Lawler. So Hager eliminates Morrison. I'm just going to say fucking Morrison. And then there's good action here. They actually have a good little final, couple of minutes. It's a match between Tom Lawler and Jake Hager. Jake Hager gets a ankle lock on Lawler, and Lawler's kind of over the top rope, and he uses his foot to propel Hager to the outside. Tom Lawler wins the Battle Riot. Good story told with him here in the context of MLW at the time. That was kind of, they were telling his story here. He
came out what, third?
Number 5.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he came in early and won the whole thing, and it was a good job putting him over. And I have to say, overall, this Battle Riot deal, I thought was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at it.
Well, from Aaron, that's high praise.
I'd say if I had to rate it on a scale like you would in school, it would definitely have been a B+.
Yeah, and to be honest, I gave it a C, so we were pretty close. It was, right. And I'm talking about the whole show, like the whole show. Actually, I'd get the Battle Riot itself. I'd probably give a B+ or a B, but the entire show itself, I gave it a C. I thought it was a good effort from MLW here 5 years ago as we speak. And Aaron, what did you think?
I thought it was I didn't like either one of the regular matches. I really didn't. But the Battle Royal wasn't bad. And
The other thing I liked about it was
go ahead, sorry.
that's all right. The other thing I liked about it was I appreciate when a wrestling company can get the shit done in less than a couple of hours. Like,
Yeah.
That was seriously something. Like, I hadn't watched it because I hadn't had time because I was working. And then I was like, oh man, I get off of work and now I gotta go watch this fucking indie show. And it's gonna be like 3 hours and 77 minutes. And I looked at it, I was like, this is an hour and 36 minutes. I can do this.
yes, I appreciate that, especially in the era of every goddamn pay-per-view has to be 5 fucking hours long.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I appreciated that as well. But overall, like I said, I think we all pretty much, enjoyed the show. It wasn't a waste of our time to watch it, to discuss it with ourselves and our listeners.
The only thing that sorry.
No, go ahead.
The one thing that I wish indie wrestling would do, and I know this is an old show, so they might be doing it now, but I'm sure they're not, is don't try to do or make your show look like what's on TV right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I respect the guys and everything that were in this Battle Riot or whatever, but it was basically a fucking Royal Rumble, and they were like, oh, whoever wins this can choose whenever they want to cash in their championship. So it's just the Money in the Bank thing. Yeah. It's like, think of something original, and even if it's not that great, I'll respect it more because at least you thought of something original.
Yeah, WWE sets the trend. I get what you're saying.
I'd rather watch, and I'd also rather watch a fucking indie show that's just in a fucking barn that doesn't have a big screen and it doesn't look HD. I know they all want to look great and all that, but does what I'm saying make sense?
Yeah. But from a business perspective, they want to try to appeal to sponsors and stuff. So I get why they try to get the slick look going.
And I get that too, but I'm just saying, like, that's all I'm saying.
And it's I actually thought about that while I was watching this. Now that you mentioned it, it's funny because of technology and how technology has gotten more advanced and cheaper to obtain. I don't want to say cheap, but an indie quote unquote promotion can obtain such a great look now, even if they aren't making money. You know what I mean? Like,
the three of us could go and make a fucking goddamn blockbuster.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
fucking movie in my goddamn yard right now. It's flooded, but I got a fucking drone, and we can make a fucking movie out there.
That's what I'm saying. It's so much easier. Like,
it ain't gonna be good. It ain't gonna be good, but it's gonna look fucking great.
It's so much easier to do it now. Like, you look at as we're going
my
through
goddamn eyes will pop.
The early days of ECW, like ECW looked like garbage because back then it was so expensive to produce something that looked like the WWF produced.
Yeah,
and now
it's on a camcorder.
Yeah.
Now I can go out there with my fucking camera phone and can make a goddamn great budget looking movie. The script's gonna suck because I wrote it in 45 minutes, but the fucking angles are gonna be fantastic.
Well, Mark, your parting words for our listeners this week?
Yeah, just continue to listen to everything on the WrestleNet radio podcast network. I really enjoyed this episode with you fellas. It was a breath of fresh air to not do something that was old and horrible like that. Because I didn't like the scaffold match and shit like that in that last show. And
nobody likes the scaffold match.
But like I was saying about that finish and all with the whole thing with the Von Erich boy and everything, it's with Kevin. It was like, man, this is a tribute to your brother. Go out there and fucking put it on the line.
Aaron, parting words.
Like I said, I didn't like the first two matches, and I can say whatever you guys want to say about them, but I did like the I keep calling it a battle royal, but that's not the exact name of it. I enjoyed
In a nutshell, it is.
I enjoyed their little battle riot thing. That was entertaining, and it was kind of fun watching something that I hadn't seen before. Like I'd never watched it before, so it was like fresh eyes type deal. For the most part, I'd give that show a C-, and I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just kind of there, and it wasn't the worst modern type product thing I've seen. So, with that being said, just go ahead and listen to everything on the We Can't Wrestle and the WrestleNet radio network. Reliving the Extreme, the We Can't Wrestle podcast, Indie Spotlight, If You Smell What the Arch is Cooking, and my show, which like 7 people listen to, and those 7 of you, I appreciate it. The year that was ... I don't know when we're gonna do that again. We can do it tomorrow if you guys have nothing going on in the middle of the afternoon.
I actually have a lot going on tomorrow, unfortunately.
I have nothing going on, so I'm gonna I'm doing all my fucking notes. I'm all the way into fucking August, September. But anyway,
Sheesh.
just listen to all those goddamn shows. They're fucking good. And if
check out.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, if you guys aren't listening to these shows, well, these people are listening to these shows, or they wouldn't be hearing me say this.
Tell your friends.
Tell your goddamn friends. Tell all 6 of them that you have. This is good shit. And then maybe those 6.
I've never had 6 friends in my entire life.
I've had 6 that aren't related to me. Like I have like 6 friends.
I have lots of acquaintances, but very few friends.
Yeah, tell your fucking acquaintances.
Yes. Tell Marge at work.
Yeah.
Hey, Marge at work. Check out the WrestleNet Radio Podcast Network, Marge at work.
Yeah. When you see Ted.
Marge at work that watches NWA Power for Trevor Murdoch. Hey, check out this show.
Yeah. When you see Alan going outside to get his goddamn mail out of his fucking stupid mailbox, be like, "Hey, stupid Alan."
When you're in the break when you're in the break room with Roger and he's microwaving his chicken burrito, let him know. Let Roger know. Look, you like your chicken burrito? You want a real chicken burrito? Listen to the We Can't Wrestle podcast, pal.
You fucking idiot.
But no, seriously, yes. Let your friends know. That's the way we grow. I didn't even mean to rhyme there, but anyway, I'm about to bust a move. Anyway,
let them know so we can grow, yo.
Yeah. I'm like fucking Oscar for Men on a Mission right now. What are we doing? What are we doing? Trying to build our listenership? We on a mission.
Yeah.
But anyway, WrestleNet Radio Podcast Network, all the shows, and check out the YouTube page, the new WrestleNet Radio, WrestleNet. Go ahead, Aaron.
Saddest thing I ever saw was looking at Oscar sitting at that fucking card table, sitting by himself. He was like knowing he had diabetes. Anyway,
on
Damn,
YouTube,
that was morbid.
I saw him and I thought he doesn't say my feet have. I'm gonna lose my feet. I'm gonna lose my feet. He said feet.
All right, to close this shit up, YouTube. It is WrestleNet. WrestleNet is one word. The WrestleNet Radio Podcast Network on YouTube. There are a few videos up there now, including our new show that is exclusive to our YouTube page, going through wrestling magazines, which we will be doing another one of those this week. So check out the WrestleNet Radio Podcast Network on YouTube. Subscribe, view. We're actually getting quite a few views, which I'm pretty happy about it and didn't expect, to be honest. Because
let's go cover to cover.
Cover. But that being said, I want to thank Aaron and Mark for joining me this week. I want to thank all of you for joining us. And we'll see you next time around here on the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Have a great week.